How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us here at Unscripted Liberation Codes. We got a special guest here, a friend of mine named Therion, and we had met about a year ago, and we're just going to just vibe out, hang out, talk. I'm really excited for you guys to get to know him. And Therion to me is an individual who's truly been having extraterrestrial contact all on his own, and we met at a psychic expo like exactly a year ago, like almost exactly a year ago, and he was the last person that came to my table for a reading, and it was an interesting setup at this psychic expo. It was like 15-minute sessions, per person. So I only had 15 minutes to sit with this man, and I pulled up his chart. And one of the first things that he said was, your computer might start acting a little funny because I got this energy about me. And I said, okay, well, we'll do our best here. And I remember looking at his chart and telling him, things about himself. And at some point towards the end, I had asked him something along the lines of, have they contacted you, or have you been having experiences with aliens, And here's this big man, at this psychic expo, just starts giggling, like just chuckling along like a big little kid. And I knew that I hit on something there. And he was like, yep, you're right. I have been experiencing contact with aliens. I have been having awakenings and discovering greater truths on who I am. And I'm gonna bring him in here in a moment so he can tell his story. But yeah, again, welcome to Unscripted Liberation Codes. My co-host Alex Liberato is not with us today, but we send him much love, much blessings. He might be in the live chat, not sure. Kind of scheduled this just out of nowhere, and here we are. So, without further ado, here is the man of the hour, Therion.
Hello,
Yo, what's
world.
up?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing much, man. Here we are, man. How you doing?
I'm maintaining as usual, man. Just trying to elevate more and just find my damn spaceship so I can get out of this planet, you know.
Yep,
But
I feel you there, man.
other than that, everything's been good, man. The transitions that I've been experiencing, I'm loving all of it. I love the energy that I've been receiving, and more so the energy that I've been giving myself, So it's definitely been an amazing adventure so far, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just moved to South Carolina from New York, right?
Um, it's been roughly about, I would say 3 or 4 years, but for the first couple of years I was on the road. So it's like, I was running 2 to 3 weeks and come home over the weekend and everything. And then I just made a transition last month. I left that company and I got with a company out here called GFL where it's just we pick up garbage like recycle, um, yard trash and stuff like that.
Nice.
I appreciated it. It was beautiful because I came in a lot of terms and understanding how simple life is just being on the road. And I
Hmm.
actually grew respect for, it sounds crazy, but I grew respect for hitchhikers. Because if you think about it, they're walking and traveling the world in a sense without a care in the world. While everybody is flying by, rushing to go to work, rushing to go to one place, rushing to go to another, they're able to actually see everything about what this planet is like, what this planet is made of. So, and it just came to me one day. It was just like the first week, first 2, 3 weeks, when I finished up training with my trainer, my mind was racing. I'm like, damn, I gotta figure out how to secure this load. I gotta make it from, let's say, New Jersey to Ohio or something like that. And in the midst of me driving one day, I was just sitting there. I was going through from North Carolina to Tennessee through I-40, going through the mountains and everything, and my own voice spoke to me. Wait, can I curse on this?
Yeah, say whatever you want, man.
My voice said to me clearly, "Shut the fuck up and embrace everything that you're seeing." And that was the second time I submitted to myself. Naturally, it's like, who else to submit to other than yourself in a sense? And I did. And I was just sitting there, and it was like I got into a meditative state of mind where I was still focused on driving, but I was able to smell and feel the energy of each state. And I was just like so lost in it that I didn't even realize I made it to where I was going. I know it sounds weird, but it was like I was focused, but I was more so focused on the natural environment around me that I didn't even like pay mind to anything else. And it was one of the most beautifulest experiences that I had. Like it was very, very beautiful, you know, and but the downfall was they was playing with my money too much, so I had to make the transition.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there. Like I, for a while, I lived in a van and traveled the country during COVID when everything locked down and people were like, "Stay home, wear masks, social distance."
Yeah,
I was like, "Fuck that!" You know, I'm gonna go live in a van, travel the country, smoke weed, climb some trees.
right,
You
right,
know, and yeah, you know, there's when you're driving through every state, even just different counties, that you can pick up the vibes and you know just the consciousness on what's going on there. And you know, there's a few states that I've driven through that when I'm there, I get like this intense pressure to that I'm like not supposed to be there, and that's
right.
Texas, Oklahoma, and Nevada.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
See,
those states, I get this intense pressure, like, get away from here, you know. And
wow.
I'm not exactly sure. I haven't investigated. I'm not sure what I'm not supposed to find there or whatnot. But when I'm traveling through those areas, it's like get away from here, intense energies. And there's a few other parts around the country where I get that, but
Right.
those are the most intense. Have you experienced anything like that?
Honestly, no, because for the longest of time now, I always had a saying when I was a kid. And it sounds weird. I don't know how I came up with this since I was a kid, probably like 6, 7 years old, but it was the road is my bitch and I'm gonna fuck her as hard as possible. That's number one. And secondly, it was more like I started doing this thing where I would visualize my energy covering the areas that I was going. Because you know, like they say, how's the saying go? Like you could walk with the crowd but not be part of it in a sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
So coming into terms with that and coming into terms with my higher self is actually what changed things because I had a moment where I've experienced driving my higher self and it dude, I don't have no words for it. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna describe this real quick. The sun was the size of a small volleyball. Compared, like if you see me like my full body, but take out me and you just see like multiple universes and galaxies inside of me, right? So me as I am now was behind my higher self. And I was trying to like peek over to see what he was doing. And he kept moving, like trying to block me from something. So finally I seen it and I'm looking at the sun and I was asking him, like, what are you doing? And he didn't say anything. He said, just understand this.
This
I
is your
can't
higher
let you,
self, right?
this is my higher self speaking to
Uh-huh.
me. He said, I can't let you see exactly what I'm doing because you're not strong enough to be able to absorb everything yet. So if I move and you absorb the energy, you'll die. So I'm like, oh shit. But he said, I will give you a micro, like a small doses of energy that I absorb on a daily basis. And I don't know if you remember that TV show Blossom.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
there's an old TV show called Blossom, and her friend was I forget, she was a number 13 or something like that, 6 or whatever, but she talked extremely fast.
Okay.
And during that time, I called my friend Gemma and I was talking to her that fast. I'm like, look, I don't know what the fuck is going on. My energy is so damn high. I need to learn how to suppress it. I don't know what the hell to do. And she was like, well, send me some of it because she studies Reiki or whatever. And at that moment was the only calm point where I was like, I can't because if I do, you'll die. She was like, holy shit. Yeah, I think you need to figure out how to deal with that by yourself then. And afterwards for about 4 to 5 months, I felt that energy straight until a certain situation happened and it lowered my frequency. And then from that, I kept trying to pull to get that energy back, and it was just like, don't. When it comes, it comes. Until then, you're gonna go through these phases. So the first
Mm-hmm.
phase was the femininity part where, I cried about everything, watching, like I said, comedy movies, action packed movies. I was watching even UK beatboxing battles, and I was just boiling out crying. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, why
Like
am I
just the
going through
beauty
this?
of the talent was just like
Yeah,
hitting
and
you, and you're just
yeah, because you know what it is. Like, honestly, I do music, I sketch, and I love any type of form of art, and I never really pushed myself because like I struggled for a long time with my willpower and everything. So seeing these people pursuing their passion and everything, it's like when you listen to a motivational speaker, when they just, talking and talking, and some people they get that feeling inside of them. But when you're
mm-hmm.
watching these people doing everything that they love, no matter whether they make it to the highest place in life or not, within themselves, they're at their place, they're at their peace, whether they battling against somebody or not. And I'm like, I loved it. I just loved every moment of it, and I was just crying out. And then as time passed, I had to understand as being I guess a lot of people would say I'm like an introvert, but I'm very empathetic. So I had to learn a lot of empathy for others. Not saying that I didn't, but I had a very strong wall up where I had to protect myself. And for a lot of people when they look at me, they're like, damn, you're an intimidating dude. And then once they got to know me, it's just like, the opportunists, the life sucking vampires, the fucking succubus and all. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced a lot. So my protective shield was like triple magnified, if you want to say. Like, it was just intense. So I had to come into terms where it's just like, look, appreciate life. You're gonna start feeling people's energies. And from that, you're gonna go through the next phase, which is the emotionless phase, where you're gonna have to remove yourself from other people. And also there's people that's in your life that you're going to have to remove as well, because they're not meant to go further in this path with you. You have your soul tribe. There's a difference between your biological family, your soul tribe family, and anybody else that you choose to bring in, and you have to decipher who from who.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you said one thing to me when we met that day, which actually, it didn't piss me off, but it annoyed me because you were so fucking right.
What was it?
And he was like, I've lived here many times before. I know everything that it is that I need to know. But in this life, I need to socialize more. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that. I don't like, for me, and I'll tell anybody this, I respect animals more than I do people.
Yeah.
Animals, they have a set way of living. And if they don't like you, there's going to be two things. They're going to leave you alone or they're going to attack you. If they like you and they feel like your energy and your spirit is good or whatever, they'll submit to you and you'll be best of friends. With people, it's so many trials and tribulations. I'm figuring out who from what. And that was the main thing that I've experienced in life, where it was just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with human beings no more. I know that I'm not a human being. I'm from another place, but I played I decided to play this game. I made this game for myself, and I got to find a way to get out of it. So on one of my episodes of my podcast, it was more so about protecting your inner child, because that's the only thing that leaves, like, still connects you to who you truly are.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, if you want to dress up and you think about it, like, you know what? I'm gonna dress up like Batman today. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna walk around. I don't give a damn. Put stickers on my car, making it seem like it's the Batmobile. Do what the fuck you want to do to make you happy. Fuck what everybody else says. Who cares about what they feel? Whatever makes you happy, do it. And that's that inner child. And I've told people, and I even said it on my podcast as well. The thing about growing up is that our parents discipline us, right? They try to teach us wrong from right. But the bad part about it is the first things that we learn in life is fear. We don't learn love. We don't learn happiness. We don't learn peace. We learn fear by being disciplined by our parents.
Yeah.
because in their eyes, we're doing things wrong, not understanding that we're trying to enhance and understand who we are within our creative form. Our creative form is the main thing that aligns us to who we truly are. But as time passes, we lose that because of what we're being taught. So I'll tell anybody, stick with your child. Your inner child is going to be the main thing that will bring you to happiness, will bring you to peace, will bring you to whatever level of success that it is that you want in life, because it comes from yourself. Everything else, like the fortune, the fame, and all of that, is just materialistic bullshit. That this I will, is going to jump into a couple of things, but this matrix, as people want to call it, is trying to just keep us sucked into. And
Mm-hmm.
you just got to break out of it. So definitely the emotionless phase is what I'm experiencing now, where I have a hard pill to swallow, but it has to happen. Like, I can't stay in this place no more. So
Yeah.
you know
I can totally relate with you on there, and I think that's like a common phase that a lot of us go through when we're sort of awakening and having contacts and experiencing our higher self and seeing the matrix and just all the bullshit and how everything is wrong. I went through something really similar too when I was going through some major activations almost 10 years ago. I used to basically live on a bicycle.
right,
Like I just cycling all the time, 40 miles a day, 100 miles a day, didn't matter. I was either on a bicycle or hiking or I don't know, random party here and there.
right,
But I remember I was going through a period that was a lot like how you were describing, with dealing with all these overwhelming emotions. And I didn't understand where this like pressure was coming from, because there just came this point where I just had like this high level anxiety and this angst that
right,
the only way I can get it out of my body was through pushing it really hard, on my bicycle. And so I would just no I would have no direction, and I would just bike. And when I would bike, I would just feel like the whole energy of the world. And I don't know where I would get these thoughts from, but I would get these thoughts and these feelings like I have to leave them behind.
right,
I can't bring them with me. And what I'm talking about is like my father, my sisters, my brothers, my family. Like, if when things are really happening, I can't waste all my time trying to have them open their eyes when they won't do open their eyes from themselves.
right.
And if I waste all that time, I'm going to miss my own train to take me to the next place. And it
Yeah,
was like super emotional. And I remember one time I showed up to one of my homies' pads, and he was like, "Hey, yo, what's up?" And I was just like, just pacing, and I was like, "I can't bring them with me." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like crying, and they're like, "Are you okay? Take a seat, they had
right.
hunger or something." And I'm like, "You guys don't understand. Like, the world's gonna change, and I can't bring them all with me, and I had to let them all go." And but so yeah, I is that kind of similar to what you were experiencing too?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm experiencing now. Because honestly, the last, what was it, the eclipse, matter of fact, that's when I did like that power surge, and send it out to my friends, but I was grounding during the same time. And when I was doing that, I felt the earth, and the frequency just felt weird. It didn't feel like it was in rotation. It was like it shifted and just stuck there. But it was just like, how when you try to wake somebody up and it's like you hold their head sideways and you're just shaking the shit out of them. It was like it was like one of the moments. It sounds weird, but when I felt that energy, I didn't feel like I was standing up. I felt like I was leaning sideways, and the earth was literally shaking. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And then the only thing that came to me was, it's time. It's just time to make that change. Like, you try to be in these people's lives, you tried to help save their life, but at the end of the day, nobody could save them but themselves.
Yeah.
Now, even though, however they view you, regardless, like, all right, for most of my family from my past, a lot of them, I guess they're afraid of me. They like, you know what, he's good to be around, but we remember words, not never seeing what I've done, but hearing
Mm-hmm.
things that I've done, and there's like that hesitant. They're very scatty in a sense where it's just like, what, we want to be around them, but we can't figure out his energy. And I understand that, but it's not, for me, it's more so like, look, regardless of whoever you used to be, whatever you've done, whatever you're doing now, I do not care. It's not me saying like I'm this big macho dude where, oh, nobody could beat me or nothing. No, it's just I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, it's respect and just being 100% yourself. And who can accept you can, and who can't. So for a lot of people who don't really seem to understand that, like there's plenty of times where I enter truck stops and everything, and I walk through the door and all the guys got to be like this. Oh yeah, I got to be big like him. And I'm like, dude, I bought this look off of eBay. They were like, wait, what? And they wouldn't expect that from me. They'll think I'm just some quiet dude that walk in. Like on one day, this dude named Big Ben. I walked into the a Love's truck stop, and he was like, "Dude, you just want to murder everybody." I said, "No, I have to use the bathroom bad, and I just want a clear path." That's He was like, "Yeah, but you could have, changed how you look." I'm like, "Dude, or eBay. If you go to the facial section in eBay, I found this luckily on sale for about $3.99. That's it." He was like,
Nice.
"Damn, you got a good deal." But it's breaking the ice because a lot of people always go off the image instead of the energy that a person gives off.
Yeah.
So I'm learning more so now in dealing with energy, but I still focus more on animals intake. Like when I'm doing the routes now, I'll see how dogs or whatever will bark at maybe one of my coworkers, but then they'll want to play with me. So when they'll be like, they'll be like, dude, what was that about? I'm like, you just got to work on certain things within yourself. I don't know what it is at this moment, but we're stuck with each other for about 12 to 13 hours. It'll come. And
Mm-hmm.
there's been about 7 to maybe 9 people that jump with me to help me with the garbage and everything. And now everybody's requesting to join with me, just because of what they told them. Like one dude, I don't know where it came from, but I mean I do, but it was just like change who you are. The way that you're perceiving yourself to be and exactly what you're looking for, you're contradicting yourself and you're pulling yourself in two different directions. Stop fighting against yourself and be who you truly are. Once you show people that, you'll get, I guess, the the status or whatever that you're looking for, and he was
Mm-hmm.
like, why would you say that? I'm like, because right now your energy is just very pompous. But the thing about it is that when you look behind that wall or that sketch that you created, you're soft as hell. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I'm not where I want to be in life. So I choose to be like this now. And once I run my own business, then I would change. And I'm like, well, think about it like this. Would you rather live in a village and have a king that's a pompous asshole and doesn't respect his villagers, or one that was raised with the village to understand everybody and then afterwards become king? He was like, I would rather have the one that was raised with the villagers and become king. So I'm like, then do your part.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, for the rest of the day, he got quiet. And he was like, you know what? I don't know where the hell you came from, but I just love the way that you say things. It offended me at first, but when I had time to think on it, because I don't have the softest of voices. I don't have that you know, I'll say like the Sade voice, like Sade when she sings, or Amy Lee from Evanescence. Like I always made a joke. Those will be the only two people that could kill me and sing something to me and make me feel good at the same time. Like they just have that voice, but I have an authoritative voice. So most people who experience certain things in their life, they would think that I'm being harsh or beating them down. I'm like, if I'm giving you my time a day, it means that I care. If I don't, I wouldn't say nothing to you. So just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love what you're saying there. And I've been looking at your birth chart back and forth a little bit as you're speaking. And I'm gonna pull it up for a second and just point some things out about your birth chart. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let me see. Let me know. Do you see it?
No, maybe I gotta minimize the camera. Let me see. My exit full screen. Let's see. No, I don't see it.
Oh, hold on. It's not working. Is it this one? Okay, do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your birth chart, and your rising sign is Aries. And Aries is a very raw type of energy. It's the warrior. It's a very masculine, raw type of energy, and can kind of come off a little assertive or aggressive, or have like an aura around about them that can seem like they might be confrontational. Or having an Aries rising, it's like it's this so like the rising sign is kind of like your aura, your personality, how other people are perceiving you. And it's not really who you are. Like your sun sign is Aquarius here. Your sun is an Aquarius, but the rising sign, this is like how everyone is initially first perceiving you before they get to know you a little deeper.
Okay.
And you have like you have a big strong physical body,
All right.
a big strong physical body that the military would want to turn into a soldier, right? And that's like the Aries rising sign. Aries is the warrior, the soldier, the one that has the physical strength and the stamina to like go in and get the job done. So
All
the
right.
world around you, when they're first perceiving you, they're perceiving this warrior,
All right.
and so that's like your this personification of you before they really get to know you. And then you're and how you said you speak with authority, and you have this way of speaking with authority. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's our communication style. It's also the way we take in and process information. And your Mercury is in Capricorn at 9 degrees, and Capricorn is the sign of authority. Capricorn is a very serious sign. They are about authority and maturity and responsibility. So for you, your communication style in combination with your Aries rising is gonna come off authoritative, and that's not like a, and this is not like an egoic way or saying that you're like basically like through looking at your chart and having the Mercury Capricorn, the Jupiter Capricorn, and the Neptune in Capricorn. People who have Capricorn placements, that's how you know that those people have been bestowed by the universe some type of authority.
All
And
right.
so for your Mercury to be in Capricorn, you have authority of words, of how you speaking, and really it's about molding attitudes, like how to mold the right attitude to have the authority. And kind of like how you were telling that guy about what kind of king do you want to be, and
All right.
you gave him words that helped him shift his attitude, and you sort of said it to him in this strong way that had an impact. And
All right.
then here's your sun in Aquarius, and it's at 3 degrees Aquarius. And this is one of the more important parts of what you're like, how you are streamlining what you are experiencing, because you've been, from the few times we've had conversations in the past, the contact and that you've been having with aliens or entities or frequencies, and the contacts you've been having with your higher self. Like your sun sign in Aries is this way of just knowing what's happening without it really being explained to you. And it's like how you broke down the phases you went through. First, the femininity phase, the emotional phase, the emotionless phase. It's like no one is showing up to you and saying, "Hey, Therion, you're about to go through these phases," but somehow you just know that this is what's happening, and
Right.
that's your sun in Aquarius. So your sun, like your Aquarius sun, is like giving you this extra edge of just knowing without even really knowing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
And then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here in your chart here. Like your Uranus in Sagittarius, 12 degrees is within a conjunction to your South Node in Sagittarius here. This is really interesting because as an Aquarius sun, your ruling planet is Aquarius, and so for your ruling planet to be next to your South Node, this can tell us a lot of different things. Um, Generally, Uranus conjunct the South Node, it indicates a struggle between the future and the past, and it's about letting go of the past, letting go of past cycles and patterns, and embracing the future. And I like how you were talking about your family and how, you're like the story of the family and how they know you and how they remember you and how they remember your actions or your words of the past, and then
Right.
they can't see how much you grow and what we are today. And so, that sort of like family unit is like, it's almost like a prison,
Yeah.
because their energy, their body, their energies, their mind are holding an image of you that is old and outdated, and
Right.
it's something that's of the past. And
Right.
so, you had to go through this point of embracing the unknown, going into the future, and sort of kind of moving away from that. And the
Yeah.
other thing, you know, so when I looked at your chart the first time a year ago, you know, this Uranus conjunct the South Node in Sagittarius, this was one of the things that told me right away, okay, this dude is not really from here. He's visiting here. He maybe visits here often, but he's really not from here. And his family, like his alien family, is with him, right now.
Right.
And then your sun sign in Aquarius, this was another indicator of letting me know that your spirit and your heart and your consciousness are able to access higher cosmic energies, which is also like aliens. And because your sun is at 3 degrees Aquarius and Pluto, so I'm going to show you. So Pluto right now is at 1 degree Aquarius. So this year, for the first time in your life, you are experiencing Pluto contacting your sun in Aquarius. While transiting Pluto is also squaring your natal Pluto at 2 degrees Scorpio, and eventually your natal Mars, 6 degrees Scorpio, and eventually your natal Saturn, 15 degrees Scorpio. But this initial contact of Pluto and Aquarius to your sun, this is why I asked you, like, have they contacted you yet? Have you been having your experiences yet? Because Pluto and Aquarius on your sun sign, that's the awakening. That's the awakening period.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, okay, cool. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. So that's the awakening, because what Pluto is doing, it's Pluto on your sun. What that's going to be doing, it's shaking up the entire playing field for you, and like, it's what it's doing is it's showing you everything of who you are, your light, your dark, your shadow, the whole world. And it's going to be moving you through these stages of activating into your cosmic royalty. And I say royalty because Aquarius is a royal sign, and Aquarius is the royal sign of cosmic energy. So you're being activated into some stage of a cosmic royal energy, connecting with all types of weird and strange, unusual things here. Yeah.
Oh, I got a story for you once you finish up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm done. Tell me the story.
So one time I took some shrooms, right? And I went for a walk. And during the time of me going for a walk, It was a full moon, but I was listening to my music, so I wanted to see if I guess I was second guessing the music that I composed. Like I know for some people they call them beats, instrumentals, but I call my music songs because each song tells a story. And when I was walking, the trees changed colors based off of the song that I was listening to. So I'm staring at the moon, and it was like a astral projected over the hologram of the moon to the actual planet. And when I went there, if you ever seen Black Panther,
Yep.
okay, so you remember how that like pretty much the temple had like a neon green glow around it or something,
Mm. Yeah.
or whatever from the vibranium. But when I went there, it was multiple temples and it had a neon green glow under it, and like flying through or whatever. And I ended up at the main temple, and I had, excuse me, different species of entities standing there in a line saying, "Welcome back. Like we've been waiting for you. Been waiting for you. Hurry up and get inside." So I went inside, but I'm seeing them. I'm looking at them like I felt at home. I didn't feel no judgment or anything. I felt the excitement, like, oh my God, he's finally back. He's finally back. So I go inside of the temple, and it was 12. It was 12 thrones, one in the front, and then it was two on each side, and then one in the back higher than the rest of them. So everybody greeted me. They was bowing and everything, like, sit in your place. We've been waiting for you to talk with you or whatever. So, oh, thank you. Um, they were saying that a change is coming and they need me to get more in tune with my higher self. But for the moment, I'm taking in a lot. So they just wanted me to sit there in my throne, look around to understand who my true family is, who my true being is, and what he's of. And I did. And it was just like, I didn't want nothing to eat. I didn't have that desire to want to taste anything because once you're at that place, everything and what you ask for is already given to you within yourself. So the desire to drink something because you're thirsty, you don't need to do that. The desire to eat because you're hungry, you don't need to do that. Um, it was just, dude, it was so damn beautiful. And then afterwards, I came back and I was like, holy shit! And I'm just staring at the moon, and I'm just like, the only thing that came in my head at that moment was like, it's so fucking fake. Because I stare at the moon a lot, and I always try to see if I feel, because I remember back when they was talking about in the ancient tribes like the Aztecs and the Mayans and all of them, that there was never no moon, and then one day it suddenly appeared and it started
Hmm.
giving off a frequency where it shifted how the earth like the earth gave a certain reaction to it. But every time that I look at it, it's the same way. And I'm jumping back and forth real quick. I remember one day I was looking at clouds, and naturally they're doing all this chemtrail and stuff like that.
Yep.
But these clouds that I was looking at seemed extremely animated, and it was pissing me off. And I rolled down my windows when I was driving in the truck, and I just yelled out, "I just want to get out of this fucking simulation. I'm tired of it." And I started crying. So it's just like I've been receiving so many messages, and then I got to the point where I got so in tune with myself that I started hearing my own frequency. And I was
Is it like
always,
a tone or?
it was, yeah, it was like a certain
Nice.
tone. It was like a real high pitched tone. And I was going through the Saphatio, Nikola Tesla, DMT frequencies and all of that. And I came across one, and I lost it ever since, but I came across one frequency, but it was something where it started off extremely low and then started slowly rising up to like the highest pitch where nobody could hear it. And I remember my dog during that time, he just, every time that I came home, his reaction was different. Like it was just straight love and happiness and excitement. And, we played a lot and all, and it was like we was exchanging energy, but my energy was too much for him where I would tire him out. Go think, like I'm going for a whole week. or 2 weeks and on, when they see you, it's just like, oh my God, dad's home, da da da, like a little kid.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, your energy is too damn high for me. Like I gotta take a break before I get back to you. So that was one experience. The other one was I was at a friend's house for her birthday and her boyfriend was there. And I took some shrooms again and they was talking and I wasn't really saying much because I felt his energy like, who's this dude? And I was just like, let me just stay in my place, sit on the couch and relax. And he said something and I said something back. And he was like, well, who are you? And that moment, it was like, you know how in the horror movies, when they get possessed and their eyes roll in the back of their head? That's what I felt like what happened to me. But my higher self just fucking rushed out. And the only thing he said was, I'm trying to say it word for word. And I love it so much. But he was like, understand this. I don't need to describe anything about who I am. Understand I am me. I do not have to belittle myself to explain any areas of who I am. Understand I am me. Matter of fact, what you need to do instead of be sitting next to me, you need to be graveling right in front of me and embracing the presence of a higher being and understanding that you're nothing but a mere peasant to me. And then I snapped out of it too.
That's crazy.
So
And you
my
were on shrooms,
friend,
right? You guys are all
like,
you guys all ate a
dude,
little bit of shrooms, right?
only took like maybe one, just one, and
Wow.
it was I think it
That's
was
all it takes,
either,
man.
yeah, but honestly, it was the either the penis envy or the albino penis envy,
Uh-huh.
and my friend was sitting there. She was like, "Dude, what the fuck? Where did that come from?" And her boyfriend was just sitting there. He was like, "I'm not going to even lie. When you were saying that, I was so pissed off that I wanted to swing at you, but your energy was so strong, I couldn't move from the couch. Like if you're in a, it's like being in a spaceship, I guess, in a sense, as they say, and it's just that projection where you get sucked into the seat. He was like, I literally couldn't move at all. And from that, I'm not going to fuck with you. So I'm going to stay in my place and whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do and have fun. But I was sitting there, I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And that surge, it was just like, I like it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
in the form of being like arrogant and cocky. It was just more so being confident and knowing who and what I truly am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel that. And like that's exactly the kind of power that Pluto crossing over your sun sign in Aquarius is gonna give. It's like, because Plutonian power is extremely potent, like
mm,
very, very potent. And um, for Pluto to be hovering over your sun sign, and we're talking Aquarius. So this is Aquarius is going to be like the alien kind of energy, like frequencies, this cosmic royalness to it. So for Pluto to be in Aquarius, it's for the whole world. It's activating the energies for people to tap into knowledge and memories and frequencies from galactic
mm,
sources. But for you as an Aquarius sun, you have an Aquarius sun, which is your own conscious spirit, and to have the planet Pluto is literally it is like bringing in this powerful strength of will that is going to embody this sense of royalness.
right.
And what's so profound about that is, so it's like the thing I really need to emphasize is the key word for the sign Aquarius is I know.
Mm,
And so every zodiac sign has keywords. For me, I'm Gemini. My keyword is I think. Aquarius is I know. And what what's and sometimes I get jealous about Aquarius is because Aquariuses have an ability to just know things.
mm,
For example, my little sister, she's 3 years younger than me. She's an Aquarius, and she was always she always excelled better in school than I did. She was like potty trained and learned how to speak and walk before I did,
Mm.
just super smart. But we would go on like field trips. Like one time we went to this field trip to like some type of museum or whatever, and the tour guide was asking questions like, he asked this one random question like, what is it about a plane that will determine how fast it can go? And these were like questions that we weren't learning in school. They were just super random question. And
Right.
my sister like had the answer for fucking all of them. And I'm like, where are you picking up this knowledge? And she's like, I just know. She's like, I just
Right.
know. But at the same time, because Aquarius has this capability of just knowing things, like they have like the true potential power of Aquarius energy is
Mm.
accessing the cosmic mind and just downloading straight knowledge and knowing it without having to waste the time of like processing it or reading it. So Aquarius is like is a very advanced energy. Like the the two most advanced signs in the whole zodiac are Pisces and Aquarius. Like these
Mm.
two signs, they're on a whole other tier of advanced levels. They are social, collective, advanced signs. In Aquarius, because they have this ability of just knowing things, and they are of a royal quality. They they often form a reputation of not being able to listen to anybody, just like pure rebel, like any type of authority or any type of person or system or anything that is challenging Aquarius or trying to manage Aquarius or put Aquarius in their place. Aquarius people or the energy of Aquarius is like, no, like fuck you. And because you said that, I'm gonna do the opposite. And
Right.
like and like and I like how in that moment, just some dude was like, I don't know what he said to you, but some dude, he said something to you. And when we take mushrooms, it's activating our brain and it's moving it in a different way. And so that Plutonian energy, is just this very powerful energy that can possess us at times. And it just and I love how it just came through you, and you spoke in this way, like, just understand I am me and all this stuff, and
Right.
like I love that. And that's going to be happening more to you, because now that Pluto is officially in Aquarius and you are a 3-degree Aquarius sun and you have Scorpio energy, where the Pluto and Aquarius energy is going to be squaring and activating that Scorpio energy. I know this probably doesn't like make a whole lot of sense and it's like astrological jargon, but
Yeah, because
um,
not to cut you off, I'm not gonna lie. I said it before. I give you 1,000% respect for you to be able to know all of this. Cause I've been trying to learn just to be able to like get up to your level with it, and I don't have the patience for it at all. Like
it's
I tried to.
it's a lot, man. Like astrology is a lot, but um, you're with you being Aquarius and Pluto coming over your sun, like it's gonna be like what you've been experiencing lately with having these moments of just like astral projecting into onto a planet and experiencing these beings,
Mm.
and then also like your higher self just coming in through you, like that stuff's going to be happening a lot. And it's all for a purpose. And part, like, at least what I believe, like what I like, you take it if it resonates, but where the world is going, like over the past few months, we've had all those drones and plasma orbs over New Jersey, and people are becoming more aware of UFOs and aliens and that sort of stuff. And a lot of people in the disclosure community really do believe that select few humans are going to be sort of like chosen ambassadors to basically speak for the aliens or be that bridge and connection for these other beings and whatnot. So
Mm.
what I've been telling people that have a lot of Aquarius placements, and now that Pluto's in Aquarius, is like this is the period where they're becoming very activated and are experiencing contact with their family, with their star family, with their team, so they can sort of become activated and start figuring out what it is that they need to do, as the world is shifting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly, see, the only thing I'm not going to take away from you, but I've said something before, and I've been telling people this. I don't believe in human beings, and only this is hear me out on this, right? I know I'm about to get off a topic real quick. Think about every zombie apocalyptic movie.
Uh-huh.
What is the only thing really that's being attacked?
The humans,
Why do you think that is?
their brains, eat the
Not even
brains.
that. Think about
Eat.
it like this, right? We are all entities of a such. Now, from something I was watching, it said that we pretty much picked these bodies to enter to be able to fulfill whatever it is that we didn't fulfill before, right? Now, I came up with an entirely different concept on that, where as far as the zombie apocalypse go, I don't feel we are part of the animal kingdom. Number one, because if you think about it, all animals live, like I said before, by the set regular code. We are allegedly the top of the food chain, as they say, of the animal kingdom, but yet our whole life journey is trying to figure out how can we make this body live even longer? How can we take care of it and all? No animal has to sit there and do any studies as much as we do to make ourselves live as long as they're trying to do. That's number one. I
Mm-hmm.
feel in a sense that for the ones who don't understand their higher self, they came down as parasites and they took over these bodies. Like they just took them over and they're trying to identify within the vessel that they're in what functions is equivalent to who they truly are. And it gives off a certain pheromone, however you say it. And just I'm just saying in the zombie apocalypse concept, that's the reasons why people are the only ones that really get attacked in that because there's a certain smell that's given off. Like even if you think about it in The Walking Dead, once they put on the body parts of the zombies and all, they wasn't detected. But as soon as it started raining, their smell came out, and it wasn't of life. It was something entirely different. Like all bodies, in a sense, smell the same for females. If they don't wash in a while, their stuff is going to smell the same. For
Mm-hmm.
dudes, if we don't wash in a while, it's going to smell the same. But it's a certain energetic smell that's given off, which gives off that thing about the zombie apocalypse. Like I rewatched it because I was always fascinated with zombie apocalyptic movies since I was a kid, and I always just looked at it. Oh, they're going to eat somebody. How are you going to survive? And it's not even that. It's just the fact that we've taken over these bodies and we're trying to recreate what we have experienced before to go through the storyline of what it is that we haven't completed in this form, but we can't, because still we are of energy within a physical form. Eventually, if it goes too high, is going to end up causing the energy, is going to cause that physical part to burn out, which is what every single person body does, whether it's a form of disease or whatever, or just old age. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, I know I just got off the beaten path. I just had to get that in real quick. But
Yeah, yeah.
no, I'm understanding what you're saying about it. And honestly, it's exciting. I'm not gonna lie, like not even before the new year, but since it was a day that my frequency was low, and two of my cousins they asked me, they was like, "Why are you vibrating so low?" And that was like a smack. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't like a disrespectful smack. It was more so like, wake the fuck up and grow into who you truly are. And I started. It was just like on the TV show The Flash when he was vibrating so much that he went through the bars of the jail cell, and I felt that. And then my cousin held my hand because normally, like before we eat dinner, we'll pray or whatever. And she felt my hand, and I was, we said amen or whatever, and I let go, and she grabbed it again, and she was like, "You're vibrating back," and she just had the biggest smile on her face. And from that moment, ever since then, it was like, you know what? I'm not going to let anything, anyone, not even myself, bring myself back down to where it was that I used to be. So, like my brother, Sama, well, you probably seen him like on Instagram. I gave him a shout out, PD Tingle Sama. He pushes
Was
me
he on
to,
your podcast one time?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, he's the only person that's been on it. So, this one I'm gonna try to figure out how to do whatever to send it over to Mons as well. But there's times where he'll push me to keep with my music or doing my podcast because he already beat me down for about 3 weeks. Like, dude, you're behind on your podcast. Dude, when are you putting out your music? And I'm like, it's coming. I'm absorbing this energy right now for me to just, because I have moments where it will come and then it will go and it'll flatline for a bit. And I just feel like I'm in purgatory, just walking around with no purpose, no meaning and all. And I hate that feeling because for most of my life and even now, I still experience that feeling of not being valued. And it's like from that, what is it that's keeping me stuck in this place? Or what is it that I have this push and then I stop? And then I always have this vision of me being like a 5-year-old, my 5-year-old self, looking out to people like, can y'all see me? I need help. Push me in and all. And then I see my adult self coming like, look, fuck all of them. We're going to push each other. Take my, take my hand, and we're just going to go. And my
Yeah.
little self is just like, well, you sort of look like me, but is this how I'm going to look when I get older? Like, you're diverting from what it is that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer your questions, but I need you to trust me, feel my love that I have for you, and walk with me. And I will answer your questions as we're walking. And he's like, you know what? Can I get a candy bar first? Or can I get something to drink? Can I get something to eat? And it's still stolen. I'm just like, look, we're going to get fed, but I need you to come with me. Then it's less like, how do I know you're not a kidnapper? Maybe you got a white van sitting down the road somewhere and you got a whole bunch of kids. I'm like, dude, my name is your name, Teron Genesis Reese. All right. If you want to know what your first name stands for, it means two things. And in one certain tribe, it means the hunter. Everything else, the full definition is the untamed one, meaning that in everything that you're looking for, you're looking to be tamed and you're not supposed to be. You're letting people tame you that don't deserve that privilege to being able to tame you. You're a nerd, you're a geek, and a barbarian. Let that barbaric side take over for a moment, which is me. Like one of my friends that I just made, he calls me Kratos from from God of War. PD Sama, he calls me Jiren from Dragon Balls. And both of those characters, they're not to be tamed. They walk their own path and only choose to take in who they choose to take in. So it's like with everything that you've been talking about, I'm not surprised in what you're saying. And it's just like I'm grateful that you're saying these things because it's like another form of confirmation that my inner child needs to hear to be like, you know what? All right, now I finally trust you. Let's just go. So I'm highly grateful and appreciative of us having this podcast and everything, and just having a moment to vibe again, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. Me too. I'm definitely appreciative as well. And like, I want to, we gotta link up another time after this podcast because I want to show you more about your chart, dude. Because the more you're speaking, I'm just like, yeah, that's this in his chart, that's that in his chart, and you're hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to pull it up again. That's not how you do it. Share this window. There we go. So you're. Oh, hold on. You have quite a lot of Scorpio energy. Your moon is at 26 degrees Libra, your Pluto is at 2 degrees Scorpio, your Mars is at 6 degrees Scorpio, and your Saturn is 15 degrees Scorpio. Like, you know, Scorpio is another one of those royal energies. But this is pure royalty. So there's four royal signs, and that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. And the reason why these are the four royal signs is because they are fixed energies. And the fixed energies, they don't change. They remain the same. And so like in order to build a kingdom, right? With a castle and a whole fucking city, like that's not going to happen in one night. That's going to take
Right.
time. That's going to take dedication to build a kingdom. And so that requires a certain level of values, strength, um, wisdom, and love. And so all those things are qualities of a royalness. So for you to have this amount of Scorpio energy, this is pure royalty. And your sun in Aquarius, this is cosmic royalty. And then your rising sign in Aries, this is the warrior spirit, And the other thing about Aries is this Aries is numero uno. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. There, it's raw energy that can't be tamed, and so is Aquarius. Aquarius is another energy that does not like rules or to be tamed, and so Aries is the god of war.
Right.
Kratos. You know.
Right.
But going back to like this Scorpio energy here, to have a Mars in Scorpio is pretty intense, like, and it should come with a warning sign, like people who have Mars in Scorpio, should have a warning label about them, like I'm a Mars in Scorpio, just to let you know.
Actually, I
because
might have
because
to make a T-shirt like that.
that's actually, we should make that T-shirt, and everybody who has a Mars in Scorpio needs to have that T-shirt or a hat. I'm a Mars in
Right.
Scorpio,
Right.
because so Scorpio is the sign of death, of rebirth, and the unconscious. And Scorpio is this energy that is all about experiencing the absolute intensity of something. So if I'm angry, I am very angry. If I'm
Right.
happy, then I'm very happy, and the whole block knows.
Yeah.
And Mars in astrology is our passion, our sex drive, our blood, our ego. It's Mars is also how we take action, and it's also how we deal with facing conflict and challenges in the world. So, Mars and Scorpio people, they have a tenacity about them. Like they can be very tenacious
Hmm.
about things, what and the other thing about it is when their emotions are activated, they are very activated, like they are experiencing those emotions very deeply, which is
Right.
why Mars Scorpio people need to come with a warning label, because if you piss these people off, they want vengeance. They
Yeah.
and also they won't forget. They don't take disrespect lightly, man or woman.
Right.
So if you if you do things to upset a Mars and Scorpio person, run. You know,
You know what?
if
I
they're if
should.
if if they're not evolved, like
Right.
there are lesser evolved traits about it, and there are evolved traits about it. But like the lower evolved, like these are people who are like, I'm coming after you. But on the more evolved sense, having a Mars and Scorpio, these are people that when they have their mind and their heart set on something, they will not let it go.
Hmm.
Or they'll have a hard time letting it go, even if it's falling apart in their hands. It's
Right.
like, dude, you need to let that go. And it's like, no, I need to make this happen, or I can't let it go. So that's another thing about it. And also with your Saturn here in Scorpio, like Saturn is the great disciplinary, the grandfather. And for you to have Saturn in Scorpio within a conjunction to your Mars, this is a lot of pressure. This adds a lot of pressure to you being aware about how you need to show up in the world, how you need to show up for other people. And basically it's like always having this like this general, like this military general, talking in your ears about um, how you're not good enough, how you need to show up better. Like it's this inner critic that's really intense. Do you experience that at all?
Yeah, I have some moments with that. I'm not going to even lie, but what I ended up doing was I had a deep moment of connecting with my dark side before I became into the light side, only because of
Yeah,
everything
and
that I've.
Scorpio is the dark side.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like when I'm pissed off, it's not good, and I feed it because I play this. It's called
But
three
well, hold on.
hours.
I have a question real quick. Have you ever been so mad at somebody that they ended up in some type of accident?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. Honestly, it wasn't shit. It was a list of things that happened to them, and when they finally called me and it was just like, I need some help with something, I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know,
Hmm.
I wish the best for you, but I grew a relationship with my dark side where during the times of me meditating, what I ended up doing, like what I did was, because one of my spiritual people tell me I got multiple spiritual animals, and I believe everybody does. But my main two or three that I pay mind to is the wolf, the dragon, and the bear. But my number one is the wolf. So I always visualize what was it? Either Narnia, the Chronicles of the Lion and all, where they like go through the closet and they in a
Yeah.
whole nother place. So what I'll do is I visualize me going through this tunnel that's from a closet, goes through a tunnel, and I end up in my meditation world. So and it's in the forest and everything, and I transform into like this humongous, not even a bear wolf. I mean like my wolf is towering over trees and everything, but I came into terms with my dark side. So what I ended up telling him was, look, I've let you overtake me for numerous amount of years of my life. Now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put you on a long leash because, like they say, you don't want to put your demons on a short leash. You wouldn't want to put a wild animal on a short leash because it's right there next to you where it could attack you at any time. And in the moments of me being mad, yeah, I don't let things go. Like I didn't. I had to deliver a message. And honestly, I'm going to say this because I'm live. For anybody that I've ever done anything wrong to after something happened, I apologize in a sense, but I am sorry. Other than that, I had a talk with him. I said, "Look, I want you to be my meditative animal." And he looked at me like, "Why? I already have my own form." But "But we need to connect because once I let you take over, I'm not able to do anything. I go blank, and that's dangerous. We already seen what happens when I let you fully out. Let's avoid that. So what we're gonna do is for anybody who tries to cause harm to me, you get to feed as much as you want to, as much as you want to. I don't care, even if you feel like you want to over exaggerate with it, but it's not in the physical form. You attack them in your form, which is spiritually and all. Get that energy, absorb it like a damn what is them damn Dyson vacuums or whatever.
Hmm.
Your typo correction, spell your name wrong. It's okay. Don't worry about it, Sandy. Look, I got to a point now where people argue with me about my name and how to spell it. Whatever floats anybody's boat, it's okay. But I had to teach myself the balance, and which is another reason why I grew to learn and appreciate the yin yang symbol a lot more because it's complete balance. Like there's no such thing in this world as perfection. However, the yin yang symbol is a complete balance between your light and your dark side. So once I came into terms with my dark side and we grew that relationship, and it took a couple of years for us to get comfortable with each other where, sometimes he snipped at me and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I had to bite back. Like I'll tell anybody, if I get in a situation with a dog and a dog bites me, I'm biting the damn dog back. So why
Hmm.
wouldn't I do that to myself? In a sense, like not physically, but in that I guess spiritual war, but now I'm on the light side where I don't like being angry. I don't like just even being upset because it takes me a couple of days to calm down. I'm like, it drains me completely where I'm tired. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be bothered. And it's not where I get in this funk. It's just that it literally drains my energy because I'm just trying to absorb nothing but light, give light, and just keep reflecting it like that. Like even with the guys at work, I tell them like, look, if you're having a bad day, whatever you experience at home, let all of that shit out here. Don't think I'm one of them dudes where it's just like, well, you're a man, suck it up. Most guys hate to hear it. We're more sensitive than females just because of the image that we have to live off of. Oh, yeah, man, you got to go and experience this. You have to deal with that to make you tougher. But when the fuck are we really going to get hurt? Which is why, like, statistically speaking, the rate of suicides from men have increased.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to be heard. We have feelings too. That shit, like, I mean, there's times where we even want to be spooned. You're laying there with your lady, you want to be balled up. She fucking holds you, and you just, oh, I feel so comfortable.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
we need that shit. But you know, once I came into terms with him, I'm like, you know what? Now I want to shift it over where I want to be light because I'm not a dark person. I never been a dark person, even though I live a long time in dark, feet in the dark, and just going through it. Like there was even a time where it sounds crazy because in this world that we live in has so many realms. It's like you got higher entities, you got spirits, you have demons, you have angels, you have every fucking thing on this planet, and that's the only reason why I think that my higher self did choose to pick this planet to be on because everything is here. You know, it's like when you first experience going to Walmart or one of them stores where they have everything in it. Like you could get auto parts, you could get food, you could get clothes, you could get jewelry, you could get games. This is what this planet is. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I just wanted to make a change. So I ended up having a moment when I was a teenager and I actually sold my soul. I tried to. But what I realized, and the statistics, no, but I'm gonna tell you, this is the shit that I realized. You never sell your soul to the devil
Mm-hmm.
because all of that shit is inside of you. Heaven and hell is inside of us. Now, hell is like they say, hell is what you make it, heaven is where you choose to go if you want to within yourself. So there was a moment where things was extremely bad, just living with my father, and it was extremely abusive and all. And I'm like, you know what, I want to make a change. I'm gonna sell my soul to live the fab life. And my skin complexion actually changed. Like my soul actually left me. And dude, I was a grayish complexion. Like I'm trying to look to show you my complexion, but with my camera view, I don't have like a rich complexion tone on the screen, but I was gray and I was in the summertime wearing a goose down bubble jacket, always cold or whatever. Weeks went by. I'm like, okay, where's the riches? Where's the fame? Where's the cars? Where's the money? Where's this and that? And the funniest thing is like, you know what? I'm bored of this shit. I'm tired of it. Give me my damn soul back. As soon as I said that, my complexion came back.
Wow.
So I'm not one of the people that want to take away from people's religious beliefs and all. And I just want people to understand and know that there's never a time that you could give your soul away and never get it back. So in the moments where it's like, oh well, the devil has a hold of me and I don't know what I'm doing and everything, it's not that. It's just your dark side taking over, and you allow the shit to take over because where you're at within yourself, you're not strong enough to be able to handle what you're going through. So let
Yeah.
them out. And then sometimes it's okay, but you gotta have control. Where it's like, all right, stop. And then you be like, you know what? Fine, I respect that. But you have to have a moment where you're submissive to yourself in certain areas. In a light moment, a dark moment, a sensitive moment, a happy moment, a sad moment, like all of the emotions that we embedded inside of us, because technically, as being higher beings, the implant that they put inside of us is fucking emotions. And that's what I realized. Like in
That's
manifestations,
so, dude, that's so Aquarius of you to say that too.
I
Like
mean,
that's
but it's
so fucking Aquarius. Like my homie who I told you I was born the same year, like a week after you. He's
right.
Aquarius too. He'll say that he would agree with you 100%. Like fuck emotions. You know, that's like, what is that? You
I
know?
mean, but all right, think about it like this. Now you're a Gemini, so pretty much what they say with
Hmm.
Geminis is that y'all have both sides, right?
Yeah,
So
duality. Yeah.
the thing about it that I respect about y'all is that y'all automatically are created with the balance of light and dark. So to me, y'all are the yin yang symbol that mastered the shit. Even though, like you said, if it depends on where you're at within yourself, you wouldn't even realize like you have control of that balance. You
Hmm.
know, and a lot of things that I've watched, read, and listened to as far as they speak about Aquarius, about us just being extraterrestrials, like yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that is some shit that old Aquarius would say because it's just like, dude, it's so much that I realized within this time. Like, I've been telling people too, like, if you think about the connection between us and this planet, and like the earthbound people who respect Mother Nature, and if you look at a tree without any leaves on it, and then look at your whole nervous system, you put them together, it's the same. That's one. Secondly, just getting into the understanding, like for anybody who doesn't feel like they don't belong and they have plenty of people around them that just treat them like they're outcasts and all of that is because you're of a higher entity. And once you understand that and you embrace that, there's a lot of things within your own self-belief that will start changing. Like I said, I experienced a long time of just vibrating low and not believing in myself, having self-doubt and a lot of insecurities. And after a period of time, it's just like one day when I was still in New York and I was in the truck, I was working at the post office about to deliver some packages. I came on the truck and like for every step that I came on the truck, I felt the truck move. I'm over here getting all of the packages together, but I'm coming in the truck and I grab myself by the collar and lift myself up off the floor. Dude, I was actually dangling off the floor. And the only thing I said to myself was just shut the fuck up.
Wow.
And I'm dangling. I'm like, I could fight him, but this is me that's saying this to me. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll shut up. I'll start making these changes and make the move. And then that's when I actually left New York. That following week was the week of my birthday. And I went down to Virginia and never went back, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you
Wow.
know,
So there's been this sort of like pattern over the last few years around your birthday of kind of like it's been significant, right? The last few years, your birthday have been like pretty
well,
significant moments.
I won't even say, honestly, I never paid it any mind. I just know it's sporadic, like seeing the numbers. Like at first, I was seeing like triple numbers everywhere, and I started looking up like angelic numbers for this and that or whatever. And then I also found out that it's not just within them set numbers. Like whatever number it is in a certain moment that you see and you feel some type of way of, you can actually look it up and see what the definition of that number is. So I try to go down that line, but it's no difference than this. Like the way your studies is and how everything just on point. I try to get that with the numbers. I'm just like, I just know from certain numbers I feel a certain type of way. So let's scrap those
Oh, I don't know what it is, but I have no idea. It's probably Theron and his energy just
numbers.
messing with the frequencies every time I talk. We tried to figure that earlier before we went live, but so we just decided to roll with it. I'm sorry, Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy, understand. I've been looking at your comments and everything. I appreciate you being on and watching and everything, but this is definitely a whole entirely different episode than he ever has had. Like you said before, the first day that we met, his laptop shut down on us. He put in my
It
name and
did.
everything, and then the laptop just said pew, and that was it. He was like, maybe my laptop was overheating, but I've been using it all day and nothing happened. And when I told him that, that happened. So yeah, this is just a moment of you actually being able to experience a high entity in a human form, but still vibrating high. What's up, Basho? So
So I have another question about that day when you were listening to music and you saw the trees change and you were looking at the moon. And so like that planet that you went to, was it like the real moon, or was it like a moon
Yeah.
in the real moon in another dimension?
No,
Not
it was actually the real moon in this dimension. See, the thing about it is the moon that we all look at is just a hologram that gives off that frequency that causes like the water to rise and all of that stuff.
yeah.
But the actual planet, as they say that about the civilization there, is not one set entity. It's like shit. I'm trying to think of like uh, it's sort of like what's the damn Marvel movie with Groot and all of them. Um Damn, I can't think of the name of the movie right now. Not the
Mhm.
Avengers. But it's just multiple species and different entities
Oh,
that look.
Gardens of the Galaxy.
There we go. Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just like that. Where you just see nothing but everybody coming in, coming out. You got certain portals to go certain places, you know, wormholes. Then afterwards, if you want to in the distance, you're able to literally see another galaxy. And then if you want to go into there, that's when it jumps into like different universes and all of that. But everything is there. Like they say, as far as when you go past the glacier, the wall of the Arctics and everything, and then you get into the real civilization, but we're inside of this dome. I felt like when I first heard that, I actually felt excitement, but from what I seen going to the actual moon, dude, it's like Vegas. I'm not going to even lie. Like that perception that Vegas gives off, where it's just partying all the time. Because if you think about it, you're in a place of everything and everyone that knows or sees or understands all. So this is where I got into the concept. Like as far as the whole theory of being in a simulation, it's like, all right, if you know or see or understand, or you can understand and live life as you want to, but then you get bored. So you create the simulation where it's just like, all right, the same tactics like Grand Theft Auto, whatever, or Sims, where as time passes, your person levels up, but it's not where you build up in points and stats and all of that. More so within yourself, mentally, mentally, spiritually, and psychologically. I always separate mentally and psychologically because one to me is more of emotions compared to being able to understand for far knowing. So it's like the game is who could get back to their true form or who will get lost inside of the simulation.
Yeah.
And it goes in multiple ways because I'm not going to even lie. Like on a clear day, when I look at the clouds, and this is just my theory on it. Like I remember being a kid and all of the clouds used to look fluffy and stuff like that. And for like, I started listening to the discussions between, is the Earth round? Is it flat? Is it in a dome? And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Each cloud that you look at now has the same undercast and shadow, and the only way that's possible is if you're inside of a dome. So I'm like, it's highly possible that we're in that place where we're in the working ant area, and then outside of it, once you evolve within yourself to your true being, then you're able to get to see the other entities and get welcome in to them places and all.
So let me ask another question. So, um, with the moon that we see being a hologram, because like I've been working on this book for a long time about the moon, and it's
Right.
it's kind of like a esoteric fantasy sci-fi book that I'm writing,
Okay.
and it's focused on the moon. And like so I got the idea of this story a long time ago, like fuck man, like 16 years ago, 17 years ago. And I was waiting for the bus. I had just got off work. It was late. It was maybe midnight, and I was waiting for the bus. And I was looking up at the moon, and it was a full moon. And I was like, why? Like, I was like, why does the same face of the moon always face Earth? And I
Right.
remember, I remember how. Like, I remember being in science class in middle school, and my science teacher explaining to me the math and like the Earth's rotation, and it just, you know, because of that, that's just it. But I was like, I started asking, but why? Like, why is it the math so perfect that the same side of the moon is going to be facing Earth? Long
Right.
story short, like, you know, when I was looking at the moon and was asking those questions, like, I got like this instant download of this whole epic story, like movie that I was gonna make. And in the movie, like, um what I was downloading was that the like many years ago, like ancient times, like even more ancient than our current ancient history, um we had a different moon, basically. Like the we were able to see the whole side of the moon, like the whole moon would rotate. Hey Alex, what's up, bro? This is my homie, my soul brother Alex.
Okay, what's
The
going on,
moon is the
Alex?
only celestial body in our solar system that has that type of orbit. No other moons apparently do what our moon does in orbit. And what does Terry say here? The moon and stars as clockwork truth. Yeah. So, you know, this, so basically what I downloaded was that once upon a time the math was different. Like, the distance of Earth and the moon was different, where the full moon got to rotate. And then there was like um there was like an underground uh, organization, like a cult organization of people that wanted to control all life on the planet. And
Reptilian.
exactly, reptilians, right? And so what they decided what they needed to do was change the magnetics of the Earth and the moon and gridlock it. So to gridlock the moon to the Earth, so that way the only one side is facing the moon. Because what I was getting this download was like the moon is like our antenna on how life can access higher forms of consciousness. And
Right.
if only half the moon is gridlocked to facing Earth, then life on Earth is only experiencing half of their potential.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this story that I'm writing, this ancient civilization performed this ritual using all the pyramids around the Earth, and using magnetics and harmonies and harmonics and frequencies. They changed the distance between the moon and the Earth and gridlocked it, so that way the same. And so in my book, it's like, you know, modern days, where people are, they discovered this truth, and they're on this mission to free the moon. So like I'm just bringing that up because, it's just tripping me out a little bit on what you're saying about, like, you were walking one day and you were looking at the moon and you're like, that's a fucking hologram. And then boom, you just like instantly astral projected into the real moon, and you're like, it's kind of like Vegas, it's popping, it's happening. there's
Yeah.
there's all kinds of races flying and flowing through here. And like, I don't know, I just like hearing you say that, because it like it confirms and validates to me like what I picked up that initial day at the bus, when I was like, why the fuck is the same face of the moon, So my question is, like, do you think that holographic moon projection is like part of the, like, along the same lines of what I'm kind of working on in this book on on cutting off human potential?
Yeah, because honestly, when you were saying that, as far as like with the temples and all, and everybody creating like a harmonic frequency, that's what came to me. Like in that moment, like right when you were saying it, I was like, the only way that I'll be able to sit there and get rid of that hologram, to be able to actually absorb the full energy of the actual moon, is every single place has to have one harmonic frequency that's given off, that could transfer it as like some type of solar beam to disintegrate that hologram. And then afterwards, and I mean, I get what Alex is saying, as far as the moon is the only celestial body in our solar system. But it's like, dude, your fucking story is more a fact than it being a story.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, like when you said that, I was just thinking this shit, like the only, because I was listening when I found that frequency that aligned with my frequency, and I was looking at the moon, the crazy shit about it is I was like, I gotta destroy you. Like that's
Oh
the only
shit.
thing that came in my head that day. Because think about it like this: if, like you're saying, if you're only seeing that one face, it's only going to be but a certain type of vibration that's going to be given off, which, yeah, it's suppressing a lot of what we're experiencing within our own abilities. Once it's completely open, dude, it's like a damn rainfall. Not even like I'm talking about pouring down like a waterfall of nothing but fucking energy and shit
Mhm.
that's gonna just I don't even have the words for it right now, but I'm excited as fucking shit. I actually got my mouth watering because it's
Yeah.
tasteful. You know, it's like
Hmm.
if you ever had that one meal that you can remember as a kid that you always wish that you had when you're an adult, and it's just like if you eat it, afterwards you're gonna fall asleep and fully be satisfied. That's what that's like because dude, it's possible. One frequency for everybody to be able to give off we'll be able to get rid of that hologram and we'll be able to take it. Like, I don't see, the thing about it is, which is scary though, I don't think every is the thing about it is for the awakeners, the ones who's awakened and looking for that, they're going to receive it. The universe will give it to them, but are they strong enough to be able to receive that energy? That's no different than what I said earlier about what my higher self was doing with me, and I'm trying to like peek over to see what he was doing, and he was just absorbing the energy of the sun. And this is his daily routine. Like, I don't know if he gets up or whatever, but he's just sitting in space and absorbing the energy of the sun. You got to think about it from what the energy that the moon gives off and how each different pattern of different types of moons that there is and how they make people feel. Like the blood moon, most of the time it'll make you feel aggressive, like it makes that animal instinct come out. Or you got the I forget the name of the blue moon, but it makes you feel, it gives a warm feeling. It just makes you feel strong but settled, so you got to think about, if that hologram is destroyed, who will be able to really be ready to receive all of that energy at once? Because it's going to pour out, dude, and it's not going to stop. And it's going to be something where it's like you're going to have up like an energy force umbrella,
Yeah.
because you're not
So
going to.
so that's also part of the story that I'm writing, because it's like, so back in the ancient times, the people that wanted all the power, they were like, we're gonna lock the moon. And then the other side was like, you can't do that. Like, this power is for the world. And they're like,
Right,
no, but we need to control it because there are too many dumb people, and and they don't deserve it. They don't value this power. And so then they created a war, and
right,
the dark won, and they were able to lock the moon. And so going to the present time, this group of people that are like, okay, we need to go on this mission to free the moon, and they had to gather all the 13 crystal skulls, and they had to go to this like secret forgotten pyramid in China where they have like rivers of mercury flowing through it, and they use the crystal skulls and the mercury to activate the pyramid, that which activates the whole fucking grid on Earth and all the pyramids, and then they shoot those beams out and they free the moon. And then after that, I'm like, I hope nobody steals my story too. So
no.
after
I'm Wait, you know what, how long do you think it's going to be before your book is finished?
Oof, I don't know, man, but I'm working on it. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna let you know this much: for everybody that's on here that follows this man and heard his ideas, be ready to use everything to protect him, because the government is definitely coming for his ass.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, they've been coming, man. In many ways. So in the story, when they finally free the moon again, so what starts to happen is like, okay, now we're in a whole new lunar phase, where, because like, it takes 2 weeks for a full moon and 2 weeks for the new moon.
Yeah,
So then they free the moon, and now we're having to go through the days, the first initial days of that first percentage of the far side of the moon finally facing Earth. And I like how you say, because like if we destroy that hologram and free the moon, it's going to be a downpour of all this power. So eventually, it's going to take 2 weeks for the entire dark side of the moon to face Earth, and that gradual process in my story, what happens in that gradual process of the moon fully rotating is a number of different things. One, people start to experience instant manifestation of their thoughts and their emotions, both good and bad. And then the other thing is it removes the veil between the spirit world and this world. So people who have demons, who have entities that they're harboring with their negative emotions, those things are going to be front and face and center. And then other people who are like really spiritual and have been doing their work, they're going to be activating their light body. And basically, when the whole dark side of the moon finally faces Earth, it is just total chaos of light and dark. And humanity actually goes through a period of total chaos until we come back to that balance. We come back to that harmony naturally. And so yeah, that's how I wrote it in my story, or how I'm writing it in my story.
I'm not gonna even lie to you, dude. That actually brought tears in my eyes, just you describing that, because in everything that you said, I felt and seen everything word for word, right? And one thing I could say, and it sounds weird, even though they talk about how things orbit around the planets and all of that stuff, once if that was to ever happen, the moon's going to always have its balance with the sun, as they say. But the moon was going to always be out. There would never be the transitions between like half of a moon, quarter moon, full moon. It's going to always be full. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if you think about it, it's just like
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You're
it's
giving me new ideas for my story now too.
like I mean, think about it though, right? Even with the sun being down right now, you still see the stars, but the stars reflect off of the light from the sun. And the
No,
moon,
that's
in a
the moon.
sense,
The stars are just shining. The stars are just shining.
but they always, either way though, they shine, but they reflect off of something. The stars don't, even if it's a ball of energy, as they say, energy is still is a light form, but at the same time, it needs to like bounce off of something to be able to be seen as a light. So
Yeah.
just like our own energy, we don't like honestly. While you was talking earlier, I seen a gold fucking energy fly like right through you. Literally, the shit was. I was going to say something, but it was so fucking cool. I was like, I don't want to freak you out, but it was a good energy, so don't you have to worry about it. Um, but yeah, the moon will never. It would be like if you ever watched what's that movie John Carter, where I think he had like he went to Mars and there was like three
Oh
moons or
yeah.
whatever. So it would be like literally the sun and the moon together, but it'll be harmonic. It won't be where there's any friction and all. Naturally, the only thing that will make it go like that will be that they have their balance. The only thing that would throw it off will be everybody's energy. So that's a hell of a fucking book that's more factual than anything, dude. Like for you to think of some shit like that, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like my higher self at this moment is like, finally somebody understands like some of the story that I want to fucking tell. But dude,
Yeah.
that's
That whole story came to me literally. I was 18 years old at a bus stop and was like, why? And then download. And then I started writing it all those years ago, and I had been working on it. I worked on it for like 6 years, 5 years maybe. Character development, research, studying, gathering all the information, and building up the story. And then I had this ex girlfriend who was military, ex military in the Air Force, and I didn't realize it at the time, but she was MK Ultra sex kitten, basically out to kill me, you know. And when we had broken up, like no, she literally got possessed too. Like I have eyewitnesses of her being possessed and being all crazy, and we had to like kick her
right.
out, and basically I was like, go back to Ohio. Like there's nothing here for you anymore back in Oregon.
Right.
And she packed her shit and she left. And then about a week later, I'm going through my stuff and I realized that she had stolen all of my writing that I've been working on, because
Oh
I was
fuck.
working on multiple different stories, multiple screenplays, and she took all that work. And I'm like, give it back. And she's like, oh, I want to learn more about you. And I'm like, bitch, there's no learning about me. We're done. We're done. You did what you did. It's over. And she's like, oh, well, I can't send it back. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, I was living in my car and it got impounded and it's gone. So all your stuff is gone. So, you know, when that happened, it like stole a piece of me, and I kind of stopped writing entirely after that. And that was almost 10 years ago when she stole my shit. That was 2016. We're 2025 right now. And just last week, I finally started rewriting the story again.
Good, good.
So yeah, really good, man. So yeah, I'm working on it.
No, definitely. Look, I'm putting a memo out to everybody who has this dude's contact information. Harass him every fucking day to get this book done. Seriously. Like, nah, dude, that's something I'm not gonna even lie to you. It's not even about how much money you're making, or I'm telling you the impact that you will have on people that is of a different entity to read that. I'm telling you, dude, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Oh yeah, what they saying about John Carter, Virginia. I'm not gonna lie. Matter of fact, going back to what you were saying about with the different states, right? Anytime that I go into Virginia, the only thing that I feel like is that's the only state that's really high energy and witchcraft. Like I know they say Virginia is like the state of love or whatever, but anytime that I'm out there, I just feel this witchy feeling. Like it just feels like I don't know. It doesn't. But it's not like I'm afraid of it. It's just like when I go there, I want to be able to learn more. Like I want to find that weird, creepy house in the woods somewhere, and there's somebody there that just is like, you know what? I sense who you are. I'm going to help you awaken even more. I'm going to take you in for a bit. So, but Virginia is literally the only state that I've ever experienced just that. It's like when I go to Virginia, I always have to play my favorite song by the group is called Hummingbird. Shit. I can't think of the name. I can't think of her name right now. But they used to say that they like her songs was pertaining to witchcraft. It'll come to me and I'll text it to you. But
Okay.
yeah, Virginia is the only state. But I can't do. I'm begging you. I'm begging you to definitely get that book done. Seriously, the
I'm gonna
world
get it done.
The
I'm gonna get it done.
world, the
Where?
world needs it. Like the world seriously needs it. I will promote that shit way more than I even promote my own stuff. So, you know, I'm not honestly, I'm not even good at it. Like for me, when I do my episodes on my podcast or whatever, like now this is a hashtag phase, but I just post it up on Instagram and Facebook or whatever. Or if I do a song, then I'll like slip it in. But PD Sama, he's the one that if you see all of the hashtags and stuff like that, he's like he's my editor. So like even on my podcast where the music that comes on, I made it. The name of the song is called the Sills and Croft did a song. No, not Sills and Croft. It's oh fuck. I can't think of a name right now. But when I do that song that I made, it's called Hocus Pocus. That's the intro to my podcast. And PD Sama, like I said, he definitely been doing his work with that, but yeah, we need to get that book needs to come out. That book
Yeah.
definitely needs to come out, and I'm gonna answer that. Sandy, just give me a sec. I'm trying to. Is it Hummingbird? What the name of the song? I'm sorry. It's
Song.
just I'm just trying to think of this lady. I forget the name of the damn, and I love that song. It's her voice is very unique, and it's like she whispers in a sense, but she's singing at the same time. It's a weird tone that she has, and is different. It's definitely different, but I can't think of a name right now. Sorry. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just text it to you because I feel like I'm being disrespectful to the podcast. But
Oh no, there's no disrespect at all. But yeah, well, you send it to me, and I'll post it on the link here,
okay,
on this channel or in the comment, or I'll post it on Facebook, whatever, the song. But I mean, with all that being said, man, I think I'm at a point to wrap it up. Are
okay.
you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good. Honestly, the only thing I'm gonna do probably eat some dinner, play a little bit of video games, and then go to bed because I got to get up at 4:30. So
Oh wow, that's early. Yeah, that's really
yeah,
early. Well, do you want to let anybody know how they can reach you, hit you up to join your podcast, or just to be in touch?
yeah, sure. As far as the podcast goes, it's on Spotify. The name of it is called Hocusology. HOC. Damn, I forgot how to spell my own damn thing. HOCUS.
Got it.
There we go. Thank you. Hocusology. Look for a Black Wolf icon, and if you want to listen to my music, you could also go on SoundCloud, type in Wolf Free One, and on SoundCloud or YouTube, and I have some songs up there. If you want to reach me on Instagram, y'all can reach me at, give me a sec. It's Nightwolf WK1 on Instagram. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just for everybody, just keep rising within yourselves. My higher entity people, I'm appreciative of meeting y'all, and I can't wait to meet more of y'all. My brother, I'm highly appreciative of this, and if there's any more episodes that you want to have, I'm always available.
Yes, yeah. We'll definitely have you on more, because when you're talking, you get into this space where I don't even know if you're realizing it, but you're just channeling some wisdom and some information, and I want to like ask more info. I want to like tap into your channel to get more knowledge from what you're tapping into there. So you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, no, then if that's the case, then dude, yeah, we could definitely have some more episodes. For now, I'll leave it like this. I'm gonna leave this one little quote that I said, and this is for everybody. As far as the meaning of life is simplicity. That's it. It's simple. Once you simplify everything, then you will be able to enjoy life. Until then, just rock as hard as you can with it.
Hmm. Good words, bro. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. Well, we're gonna call it a night. Therion, it's great meeting you again. We'll
Indeed,
have you
brother.
back. You
And
have a
as
good
far
night.
and for all my people, as I say, Awarida and out.
I like that. And as I always say, love and light, death and darkness.
Indeed.
All right. Peace, everybody.